tonight, I have a wonderful little piece of music for you. I think to open our service, it's going to be really, really good. I think that you will enjoy it. And let's do this.
Ooh, I like that.
We were born before the wind, also younger than the sun. And the bonnie boat was one as we sail into the mystic. I can now hear the sailors cry, smell the sea and feel the sky. Let your soul and spirit fly into the mystic. And where that foghorn blows, I will be coming home. Yeah, when the foghorn blows, I wanna hear it. I don't have to fear it, and I wanna rock your gypsy soul, just like way back in the days of old. And magnificently we will fold into the mystic. When that foghorn blows, you know I will be coming home. And when that foghorn whistle blows, I gotta hear it. I don't have to fear it, and I wanna rock your gypsy soul, just like way back in the days of old. And together we will fold into the mystic. Come on, girl.
Well, welcome to the Wednesday night service for Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living. I hope you enjoyed that opening video. We're going to be talking about mystical things tonight, so it seemed like it was just perfect. I'm so happy you're here, and now I'd like to have our practitioner, Paula, come alive here for us and do a nice invocation and a short meditation for us tonight. So thanks, Paula. It's all yours.
Thank you, Nan. Just breathing in that wonderful music, just staying in that space of that mystic. Staying in that space and breathing in the love and camaraderie that is really right here and right now. In between each person here, there is God. God that is always here and always present. Just breathing in that love and connection. and feeling that great gratitude for Nan, for her devotion, for making this Wednesday night service come alive, to create this sacred space within our homes, within this space of a sanctuary that we are each creating in our lives and in our homes right here and now. So it is with great gratitude I bless this time together. And so it is. So right now I have a short paragraph from the 365 days under the heading, I stay open to the presence of spirit everywhere. Today, I consciously commune with the spirit. I know that it presses against me and flows through me. I endeavor to feel this presence as a living reality in my life. Knowing that the divine presence is in everyone, I sense that the spirit is in everyone I meet. I do my best to respond to this spirit, seeing it everywhere. I keep my consciousness open and alert that I may better understand the union of all life with its pure and perfect source. And so go ahead and take a moment now, focusing on the union of all life. And I now turn this time over to Reverend Nan. Thank you, Reverend Nan.
Thank you, Paula. What a lovely interlude of peace that we just experienced together. You know, I just love these Wednesday night services, and it's just so wonderful to see everyone here tonight. It's kind of like we were talking earlier, it's kind of like we're all sitting in our living rooms, just hanging out after dinner, having a chat. Well, here we are in a brand new month, and our theme for February is One Journey, Many Paths. The theme encourages us to move from thinking about the divine to feeling it and experiencing it by way of mystical experiences that transcend any one path, religion, or tradition. We just have to be open, and that's the context for my talk tonight, open to receive. As the saying goes, one mountain with many paths, one tree with many branches, one river with many wells. There are as many paths to feeling the divine and experiencing it as there are individuals. You know, Dr. Holmes' Declaration of Principles that was first published in the Science of Mind magazine in 1927, can you imagine 1927, stated, "We believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. We believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God." Our global vision statement for all the centers of spiritual living around the globe expands upon this with this statement. We envision humanity awakening to its spiritual magnificence and discovering the creative power of thought, a world where each and every person discovers their own personal power and the ability to create an individual life that works within a world that works for all. Those are such lofty words and ideas. But what about this mystical stuff and all these paths and spiritual magnificence? I mean, how does all of that fit together anyway? You know, in our opening video, Van Morrison sang the first two lines, "We were born before the sun, also younger than the wind." Well, how does that fit with experiencing the divine? Let's just take a minute to consider our heritage. As unique individuations of the divine, the creator, we are made from the same stuff as spirit, the same thing that is in galaxies, the universes, all that is, has no beginning, no end. And we believe in the eternality and immortality of the individual soul, forever and ever expanding in consciousness. This absolutely makes sense when we consider our beginnings. If that is in our spiritual DNA, then doesn't it stand to reason that we are beings of spiritual magnificence? And would we not be eternally one with the divine and a mystical heritage? You know, in that same video, we saw photos and drawings of various mystical experiences and expressions. But what exactly is a mystical experience, and how do we even know if we've had one? Well, William James was a psychologist and philosopher, and he identified 4 general characteristics of mystical experiences. 1, mystical states are more like states of feeling than intellectual experiences. They're difficult to convey in their importance and grandeur. 2, they are states of knowledge, insight, awareness, revelation, and illumination that are beyond the grasp of intellect. 3, they are fleeting in time, although they may seem to last a long time, rarely more than just a few minutes, but the experience stays with us forever. 4, the individual often feels swept up and held by a superior power. Now, this may be accompanied by a sensation of out-of-body experience, a separation from bodily consciousness, could be visions, hearing voices, and such phenomena are regarded in Eastern thought as states of pseudo-enlightenment, partway up to the real thing, but not quite there. Now, James also classed déjà vu moments as simple mystical experiences. And I am sure that everyone here has had one of those déjà vu moments where in a flash, you just have a sense that you've heard this before, you've done this before, you've been here before, and that's déjà vu. Now, there are many paths in spiritual traditions that may prompt mystical experiences. Buddhist meditations to achieve samadhi, shamanic journeying, Sufi dancing, Wiccan rites and rituals, indigenous peoples' ceremonies for fertility, to name a few. Each is a way to experience union with the divine. And while we may be open to explore any of those paths that may spark interest, some mystical experiences occur spontaneously. And they usually occur when the person is alone and in a relaxed mental state. Many things can produce mystical experiences, such as daydreams, words, phrases, music, art, sounds, smells, dreams, the play of light upon land and sea, and all of nature has that potential. Now, throughout the ages, it seemed that one had to be a really special person to have a mystical experience, to have that connection and unity with the divine in a special experience that illuminated the individual with a greater sense of cosmic consciousness, or being aware of the consciousness of the cosmos and of the life and the order of the universe. Well, here's the good news. You know, I always like to have some good news in my messages. You can have a mystical experience anytime you want. Anytime you choose to have one, you can have one. Unlike Kentucky Fried Chicken, there's no secret recipe, no special process, ceremony, or ritual in which you must engage to have that connection and unity with the divine. The only thing that is necessary is a desire to commune with spirit, to welcome and open to a special time to connect with the divine in your life. There are so many ways to do that. No need to go sit on a mountaintop by yourself and wait for enlightenment, or sit under a Bodhi tree as Buddha did. You are already connected to the infinite at the very center of your being. It's just a matter of taking the time, creating a regular daily spiritual practice of honoring that connection and communing with the divine. And you know, Paula mentioned that communion when she gave her reading today. I use the words commune with the divine a lot. And what does commune really mean? Well, the dictionary defines it this way. To commune with someone is to share something with them that is of mutual benefit. Now, John Owen defines communion as the sharing of good things between persons who are mutually delighted, being cemented together by some union. Communion, then, is not just shared delight, but the cementing effect of that shared delight between two persons. When I use the term commune with the divine, it is that cementing effect of shared delight with the infinite within to which I refer. Just being in a sacred time and space that we create and set aside to spend time cementing that shared delight of giving and receiving love with the infinite creates a path to mystical experiences. Now, is it necessary to have a mystical experience to know we are having an experience with the divine? No, not at all. You know, we can have many paths to connect with the divine. Music, laughter, the multitudes of beauty and nature, spending time with loved ones, all give us the opportunity to see and experience the divine in all creation. Everything is the face of God. And when we see it everywhere, every moment becomes a mystical experience. The key here is to practice the presence, the principles of oneness and love in our daily lives. As we open to the presence of God in ourselves and cement that relationship, love becomes our way of life. Oneness becomes our truth. We no longer see adversaries, others, or spend our time in judgment. We move to a place of greater acceptance and joy of all of our life experiences, knowing that we have the complete freedom to make new choices that support the development, recognition, and enjoyment of living lives in the fullness of our spiritual magnificence. So I invite each of us to make that date with the divine every day. Spend minutes in prayer, meditation, contemplation, nature. It's really the regularity of the connection that creates the cement of the shared joy we feel in the radiant love of the spirit that exists at the center of our being, that is just waiting to share itself with us. It is so worth it. As we do this, I invite us to open to the mystic within us, and as Van Morrison sang earlier, let your soul and spirit fly into the mystic. And so it is. I do like that idea, letting our spirit fly into the mystic. So let us follow our custom and have a prayer now. So I just invite each of us to bring to mind that infinite loving presence, whatever it is to us, whatever we call it, to move to the center of our beings and to feel that connection with that love within us that's always there, that central light at the very core of our being that nothing has touched, that nothing can touch, that is pure, that is always waiting for our call. And as we connect with that infinite, I just speak a word of blessing on all of us here, all of us who are not here tonight, everyone who may hear this later, who will be within the sound of my voice. I speak a word of blessing for this planet, for all the peoples, for all who are seeking that cement, that connection, that communion with the divine, knowing that it is always present and available to every being on earth and beyond. And so knowing that this is so, I simply give such great thanks for the spiritual magnificence that exists through all creation in each and every one of us. That light is so bright and it shines so brightly in every soul, should we just but look and open our eyes to see it. And so knowing that this time has been blessed and is good and very, very good, I just release this word directly into the mystical, magical alchemy of love and law, into the mind that always says, yes, my beloveds, yes. And so it is. Nice. Oh, wonderful. So now, as is our custom, I have to put our little offertory expression in here. I forgot to get that done earlier. And we just are so grateful for all the gifts that continue to keep our center operating and functioning so well. Everyone's generosity returns back to them 100-fold. We know that this is a reciprocal universe, and that which we give must return. And so if you just join me in placing your hand over your heart, and just knowing that your gift is of such great value, time, talent, treasure, whatever it may be, you can just join me in blessing that gift by saying, I give my gifts with great joy and love. And we can do that again. I give my gifts with great joy and love. And so knowing that these gifts have been received, I just want to say a blessing for the gifts of all the love, the love and the kindness and the compassion of all the individuals who give so much of themselves through our center and throughout our global organization. It is the light of the world that these gifts bring forth. And we just give great thanks, knowing that it does good work in the world, whatever we may give. And so it is. And now I'm going to invite Miss Paula. We're going to do our candle ceremony here. And we're going to honor all of the faiths tonight. We've been doing this month. We did it in January. We're going to do it again. And as this flame is lit, we do this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all paths come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. So we light this candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light this candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light this candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And we light a candle for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of spirit in their lives, and for the space that we are holding for them at this center, and for all religions unnamed in this ceremony. And so just knowing that this candle is lit with great love in our hearts, I just invite us to take a moment to feel that love in our hearts, to just feel that love overflowing. And as is our custom, we will allow that love to overflow from our heart center, put our hands in front on our hearts, and just allow our hands to become filled to overflowing with that love. Just fill from that divine center of love to overflowing as it flows over our hands. And we bring them together, 1, 2, 3, and then whoosh, we send that out into our homes, our neighborhoods, our communities, across our country, and out around the globe, and out into the cosmos and beyond the beyond. And so it is, my friends. And that concludes our Wednesday night service.